Morning, everyone. Welcome back to Whistle, Steam and Petrol. This morning I thought perhaps I should just introduce you to one or two of the cars or a few of the cars so that you have an idea of what we're going to be looking at in future when we look at each car individually and maybe a little bit of history of the car as well. So as I said, we're going to have a look at a few of the cars and I'll introduce you to them. This is a 1941 Chevrolet, or Chev as we endearingly call them. And then I don't know if you own a vintage car or vintage cars, or any car for that matter. Don't you find we tend to give them names? I do. I enjoy giving them names because it personalizes them. And when I'm speaking to some of the guys working with me, they know which car I'm speaking about when I call that car by name. So this one is affectionately known as Lily. I named her after my mother, my late mother, a wonderful woman who loved these vintage cars, and this one especially. It's a 1942 Studebaker Commander Skyway. It really is an elegant car to drive. Beautiful car. The next one is a 1935 DeSoto Airflow. A very revolutionary car for its time. Hence it didn't sell very well when they did put it on the market. It has fantastic features for a car dating out of 1935. It's got a beautiful interior. A stunning car to drive. Perhaps we'll start him up or her up just now. I think this one is a he. Because this is called Droopy. And I think if you look at the front of the car, you'll get an idea of why I called this Droopy. It really looks like Droopy Dog, does it not? A very endearing, yet a very sad face or front to it. Yet a beautiful car. Let me introduce you to Geezer. I call this Geezer. He's an old man, and that's, I suppose, why I called him Geezer. This is a 1930 Dodge Brothers. Very temperamental, but I suppose when you have the wisdom of age on your side, you have the right to be temperamental. So he gets quite temperamental at times, and mostly when I want to start him up, to show him off to some visitors, he gets very temperamental. Yet a beautiful car. Very elegant. This is a 1936, although this one is registered as 1937. But everybody seems to think it's a 1936 Morris 8. This one is called Morrie. I suppose you can guess why Morrie, because it comes from the name Morris. It's an English car, very much smaller than the American cars. I suppose it suited the roads of its time as well. Here we have a real old gentleman. I'd like to introduce you to Duke. This is Duke. Duke is a 1935 Buick 8. It has the straight 8 engine, overhead valve, or as you'll see when we discuss Duke in future, they used to call it valve in head. Beautiful car, a really elegant car for its time. very spacious, and a beautiful interior. And here we have little Ruby. Ruby is the least temperamental of the whole lot that I have. Ruby is one of those cars that you literally get in, you pull the choke out slightly, and she turns over 2 or 3 or 4 times, and she starts. Don't be fooled by Ruby's size. This little car goes. And when I say goes, I mean she goes. When you put your foot down, she moves. Very small inside, also British. She's registered as a 1937 Austin Ruby. Proudly flies the British flag there as well. And she's standing in the corner that will soon become the very British side of the warehouse. As you can see, a lot of it dedicated to the Battle of Britain. The elegant Graham supercharger. 1930 Buick Roadster. This one is called Dutch. Dutch has got a few problems that we need to sort out. I don't know if Dutch got upset with something, but he blew a head gasket. And we'll have to calm him down a bit and then replace the head gasket. But otherwise, apart from that, Dutch is a beautiful car to drive. Wind in your hair, as I call them, dicky seats at the back, or rumble seats as people normally call them. 37 Pontiac, the black one. Very elegant British Wolseley. (1935) Chev. Never been restored, still original. Not temperamental at all. Get in, turn the key, and he starts. Yeah, I'd like to introduce you to L. This is L. L is a 1936 Chevrolet. The gangster hanging off the side of the car, standing on the running board, rat-a-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, and leaving death and destruction in his wake. That's the idea I get when I look at L. Hence, I suppose you realize why it's called L, named after Al Capone. So as promised, here we are inside Droopy, the 1935 DeSoto Airflow. And let's see how temperamental Droopy is this morning. Oh, there we go. Just warm him up a bit. What I find is when these old cars or vintage cars stand for a while, they get very temperamental when you want to start them again. Just love the sound. And of course, came out standard with its own air conditioning. Beautiful air conditioning system. The Airflow name is all about that. It's not just the aerodynamic shape of the car, but also the fact that with all the windows open, you open up the windscreen, you get this wonderful airflow through the car. So let's show you outside. There we go. Straight 6, flathead. Enough power to drive him along. When we discuss Droopy in future a little bit more in depth, we'll go through all the stunning features it has. For the year 1935, humans came up with all these wonderful ideas to make driving your car a wonderful experience. Let's see if we can just rev him up a bit. Sure you'll agree with me. A great engine for a great car. Well, there we have it, guys. Thank you very much for spending the time with me. I've introduced you to some of the cars, by name that is, and I look forward to doing more videos on these cars and perhaps looking at them in more detail. I wish you a wonderful week ahead. Have a fantastic time. God bless. See you next time.